Hello, my name is Dr. Richard Fleming. I'm a physicist, nuclear cardiologist, attorney. Over the last 23 months, SARS-CoV-2 and the disease COVID-19 have plagued the world with lots of people providing input, some of that input being valuable information and some of it not so valuable, and some of it potentially direct misinformation. A couple of weeks ago, Dr. Kevin McCarran in Japan and I started to conduct some research looking at the Pfizer vaccine and the effects upon blood taken from the body and placed under a microscope on slides. That information suggested that the administration of Pfizer to blood desaturated the blood, took away the ability of the red blood cells to carry oxygen or carbon dioxide. It also showed the blood beginning to clump or clot sooner than expected and a considerable amount of debris in the material being injected into people. Today is the 22nd of November, 2021. We're here in Austin, Texas, thanks to Mike Adams and several other individuals in the area who've been kind enough to help donate their microscope and optical recording equipment for us to take a look at several subjects and the blood that they provide for us, both with the administration of Pfizer and Moderna and the Janssen vaccine. Some of these individuals, the men, will also provide sperm samples so we can get an insight into if there's any effect on these on sperm by these vaccines. We want this to be something available for everybody to see, the general public, as well as the courts, as we begin to question and investigate what's going on with these drug vaccines. Are they safe? Are they effective? And what type of potential risk do they provide? So today, we take a third step into looking at these vaccines and their effect when administered directly into human blood. What I want to make everybody aware of is the continuity of the material being used in this particular research project. It's critical for everybody to understand that everything is sterile, it's prepackaged by the manufacturers, including some products that we're going to be looking at to see whether it affects the blood cells, sterile water, sample collections, as well as the vaccines themselves. One of the typical questions that I get asked is, were these vaccines correctly protected in the process of getting from the manufacturer to being used today? These have been iced, refrigerated, and cooled and kept at the temperatures recommended by Pfizer, Moderna, and Janssen. All right. I want you to validate for everybody what we have in here. These are the Moderna and Janssen vaccines that have been sealed, remain sealed, have not been used yet. We're going to take one out of each, and I want you to confirm for everybody that these are in fact sealed, that the lids haven't been tampered with, and that there are lot identification numbers there. I'm going to actually give it to you.
Okay.
Just take in your hands to look at. They're still sealed up.
Okay, sealed.
Okay, and that's which one?
This is the Janssen.
Okay, and can you identify a lot number on it? You don't have to read it, I just
Yes.
want to know.
This
Okay.
is the lot number, yes.
All right. And this one, if you would take a look at that one.
Okay. Sealed.
And it
See
is,
the lot number.
and it's which vaccine?
And this one is the Moderna.
All right. You're fine, you're sealed. And this one, if you would identify the vaccine and if there's a lot number and if it's sealed.
Okay. This one is the Pfizer, BioNTech, lot, yes. Let's see the lot number. It's sealed.
All right. What I'm going to do now is to break the seals on each of these. And the independent sterile syringes I'm going to draw up in preparation for adding to the blood, so that once we draw your blood, we can then add those to the blood immediately and look at them under the microscope.
Right.
All right? And just for verification, you're more than happy to look at each one. That's a syringe that's been sealed, right? It's sealed?
Yes.
Okay. That syringe is sealed, no contamination, nothing's gotten into it, right?
Right?
Okay. Same with this one.
Correct.
Okay. So no question for the observer. These are sealed syringes. These are 3 cc syringes. Okay. Janssen. This is the Janssen one, correct?
Correct.
This is the Pfizer. Confirm Pfizer.
Pfizer confirmed.
Moderna. Moderna.
Moderna confirmed.
That was simply didn't have to do all that. We just were careful.
Don't look. I was careful. Occasions don't look.
Okay.
I don't look.
But there, Pfizer. Moderna. And Janssen. Okay. So are you recording that?
Yes, that's all being recorded.
Okay, so this is clearly off to the side here where there's more of the vaccine. You can see the difference between red blood cells and the edge of the vaccine.
Okay, wait a second. Which vaccine is this?
So this is Pfizer,
Okay.
right? So this is these red blood cells. You can see them thinning out here, and this is the edge of the red blood cells where the Pfizer vaccine has contacted the blood. And you can see the loss of red color with hemoglobin. You can see on the edge of it the loss of red, and then as the cells are more immersed in the Pfizer vaccine, there's absolutely no red with the color of the red blood cells.
Oh, let me show you
Okay.
the fine movements here. This
Okay.
one and this one.
Back and forth. Okay.
This will give you vertical and this one's horizontal.
Okay. Good.
So-
good. So let's scroll through here a little bit, see what we can find. So this is obviously a thicker area of the blood. For this move, you see this is another area. Not sure if those are the cells as much as if we go down, this is 100 power, 150 power. Let's see if this is fluid or cells. You can go back across the red blood cells to the edge where the Pfizer vaccine is affecting it. So this is now 200. And you can see in this area over here, there's no red color to the red blood cells at all. And they're still exposed to air. They should be able to take up the oxygen if the hemoglobin hasn't been damaged. Okay, that's Pfizer.
One more thing first.
Great.
Try the side light with more actual light getting pumped into it.
Okay, that's perfect.
You might get better contrast. Yeah.
See, and you can actually see now, you can see a strip of red blood cells still holding some of their oxygen, and then other strips of red blood cells that are just, they've lost it. I mean, that's a good picture of what the Pfizer vaccine did, just being placed into contact with red blood cells. And put in the Moderna. Granted, it's a thick slice here, so we'll see. We might have to thin it out again. got, and we're seeing the same thing. I mean, there's no, you can see the movement of the blood as it's, as it was thinned out. You can see, so this is the Moderna one. Again, there's no red coloration in these cells at all.
Wow, it's changing color.
Yeah. So that, and you can see the red blood cells. You can see them moving. There's no red color there. You can see the other areas of blood now coming back in, but this was thinned out, pulled out. This is, let's do a real quick transition here to higher power, 200. And you can see those red blood cells, they're just pale. There's no red color to that at all. So this is the Moderna vaccine at 200 power. Total loss of red color to the red blood cells. Good. Yep, good. The only way that can happen is for that hemoglobin to no longer be functional to carry oxygen. There's oxygen in the air. That's all it takes for those red blood cells to absorb it. That's why when you draw blood, you see red blood, because even if the blood has been used up and it's not fully saturated, when you draw the blood with a venipuncture tube, the oxygen in the air hits it and turns it red. The only people who see discolored blood are cardiologists like myself in the cath lab, where we're putting catheters inside the heart to look for shunts where there's no oxygen saturation that there should be, and we can see where the shunts are that way. This is desaturated blood. That's Moderna. Let's make sure we also take a look at Janssen. Okay, whoa, there we go. That's a nice transition point right there. So this is 20 magnification. Let's see if we can, old school, let's see if I can, there we go. Okay, those are what used to be red blood cells. Well, they're still red blood cells, they're just no longer carrying oxygen. So this is 20. We'll go up to 100. Let's switch this from 100. Those are clearly not red anymore. To 200. 2 sets of hands are always useful.
Okay.
You know how to.
That should come in. There we go. Yeah.
This is Janssen. 200, 300. Let's see, 500. What do we have?
Let me focus. There we go. There, you almost. Okay. There.
Those are red blood cells that are no longer red with the Janssen vaccine added to it.
Is that unusual clumping that we're seeing?
Well, I think, no, at this point in time, I think what's happened is we've had about a minute and a half or 2 minutes here, more than enough time for this inflammothrombotic clumping of the red blood cells to occur that we saw in the preliminary work. And now they're clearly clumping together. Now, what you want to see for red blood cells. So I'm just going to see if I can rotate a little bit more here. You see, I mean, there's nothing red about these.
Yeah. Now, are you able to zoom in even more on one of those?
And you can see the kind of cells going there. Yeah, let's see. So we've got, this is 500 now, 1,000. Let's go 1,500.
Wow.
Oops.
The focus is going to be super sensitive here, right? Good job.
Yeah. So that's Janssen at 1500 magnification. And there's no evidence that these are resaturating or taking up their oxygen. This is so red blood cells.
There
I
we
think
go.
this is what we do. I'm going to just have to hold it here, okay?
Okay.
So here's what your blood should look like. And this is at 200 power. So you can see it's red. Okay?
It's dried.
It's dry.
This is
Yeah.
already dried,
This
but
is
it
already
still
dried.
retains its
Yeah.
color. Yep.
Yeah. So even with air drying, now and this is, you know, many minutes later, you can still see red color to the normal blood without any vaccine put into it.